I don't know how to start this particular episode off, but let me just get to it. Hey everyone. My absence this time was one that I had planned, though many people might not remember. I said when Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out, then I was stopping everything that I was doing. However, I'm recording this right now, and I recorded, before the game started, a lot of my Fire Emblem videos. Why am I mentioning that? Because, funny enough, all three of these games have something in common. Well, loosely. In a way, they're all dealing with time or dealing with the past. Let's actually go, we have a scene here. Okay, apparently I need to go to the elevator. Okay, so while I'm walking there, Maho's copy. Something doesn't make sense to that for me. First off, this Maho has a lot more autonomy. Why? R4 took over Rom, and I'm pretty sure it was just boom, take over. Rom is, she's there, I assume, but she's just no longer can act with her own power. If you do that, why do you need to have Maho? I don't know what the different versions are called, but the third Maho, why have her autonomy? Why have her communicate with R4? And why is she going along with it? Why does she say that their plans are beneficial? I'm thinking, this is the Maho that I was thinking that I would want to see in the game, or might make a villain of the game, which again is more what I was thinking. By the way, what if they made, ASIC has done a lot of stuff in the background. They started this whole plot really starting. They made CPU sealing devices. They made a powerful device like a infinite share crystal. I think we have more than earned an ASIC representative to be another face for the villains. Honestly, I don't know how, there's so much to this game. I don't know how I could possibly fit it all in one video. Maybe I'll expand the concepts later, but just that would be cool too. But anyways, with this other Maho, it's almost like she has an antagonistic role towards the CPUs. Because that's the only thing that can make sense. As far as I know, this could be the original Maho. Or rather, this Maho could have led to Grey Sister. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how the original Maho and Netgear met. This one has to do with lost memories and a lot of other shenanigans that didn't happen to the original Maho, like the candidates being sealed in a castle for 2 years, thus allowing them to get close to Eastwar, and by they I mean Maho and Henri.
Here like this.
So, point being that for this other Maho, she's working with R4, and it seems like she is willingly traveling to a place that can kill her. Well, no, I gotta remember, R4 isn't trying to, in theory, take out, or doesn't need to use Gehaburn. But taking it out of the picture would be ideal for her.
Please don't stare. It's impolite.
Because, in theory, killing CPUs is what we want right now when it comes to the Mahos. Either way, we have a scene to start. I don't know if this is gonna get us in there. No. Oh, it was here. Why? Yeah, what are you two doing? Looking stuff up? Okay. Honestly speaking, as a CPU candidate of the game industry, that would be a disadvantage if people were reading books. That is true. Yeah. The assistant function. Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't already have that feature, with as much as you've added to it. Best of luck with that. Okay. Oh, Ziri. Ziri is Siri. Yes. Your concierge function works perfectly. I see. A tongue twister? Oh, yeah, those are basic. That's an easy question. That's an easy question. Get a harder one. Okay. Doesn't Siri respond to questions like that? If I found such a being, we would share milkshakes, play games, and watch movies. We would fight, and he would break your heart? Where do I find this being? That's a good question, Rom, actually. Nice. Nice. See, I would actually like to hear that. But it's a sub scene, so. That's hilarious. My eyes, my screen, my display. I mean, Neptunia made it, technically, so she can do what she wants. Again, if I would imagine part of that is due to Neptunia herself putting it in there. And didn't Neptunia fix her too? Seems that I've lost his... Yeah. Like, what was the problem? Ziri straight up said, just ask. I can do it. When I skip my work, it gives the others a chance to do more work. We need to fire you. What's your name? You're fired. You're fired. But yeah, long story short. Oh, and there's... Well, that reminds me of something. Someone mentioned as soon as I go on a stage, I'll know it. As soon as they pointed that out, I recognized it off camera. This is Virtual Force, isn't it? Those rings give it away. And no, it can't be. Because it's got to float. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and I need to fix the shares too. Apparently there's something that's coming up that will help, but nevertheless, save here in case I need to fix some stuff later.
You want to go here?
Let's see.
There sure are a lot of enemies. I'm scared, but I'll do my best.
Are you going the right way? This is based on your own memory and the information R4 had on the Gehaburn is stored. R4. So what are you saying? They saying R4 after she was defeated, she knows where the sword is stored. Maybe they are going to answer some more questions about it. You were sneaking around this whole time to get information on. Wait, really? I mean, I guess that makes sense. R4 will be worried about it, like regardless. Wait, so has she always taken care of the sword? Well, no, this is a different, like, she's talking to this Maho. You didn't hide information on the crystal's limiter from me. For all I know, you're going to betray me in the fight. So this isn't a complete takeover. I see. You spared her life on that day in the PC continent so she could serve as her backup vessel. So are they... Because it wasn't clear before. But is R4 like partially... Are they partially linked now? And now it's time for the reason this video took so long to come out. While editing this video, I realized that I had a pretty big misconception. It doesn't matter for the rest of this, but it matters for right now. And I remember people really liking the idea last episode of me making a video explaining this whole game, and I may or may not do that, but let's address some things right now. First, a misconception that I had. I was under the impression that at this moment in time, R4 was possessing this Maho. And I was under that impression based on the visual and audio cues they used last episode. But that's not all. I was also looking for clues in the story, and Grey Sister said,
Most likely. I can feel the IS crystal.
Now, why is that a big deal? Well, we'll get to it in a second. First, let's talk about what actually is going on here. For my best guess, and I imagine the story will make this more clear, but R4 never switched bodies yet. Through every timeline, I assume that Maho's sister is the victim of R4 in the first go-around. And the issue that they were describing last episode was that R4 cannot escape that body because it's hard to take out a CPU. Which begs the question as to what R4 has been doing in every single timeline. I think this is a common occurrence, which, on that note, I am questioning how Grey Sister didn't know that already, but nevertheless, it seems to be a common occurrence that R4 would seek this out because she knows that it won't be easy to take her out. So she needs something like Gehaburn. So that completely changes this dynamic, but then it begs the question, what the heck happened in the previous scene? Why did they use those visual cues? And I kid you not, I have 3 options, but to me, none of them seem to quite fit. Option A is that literally R4 was hiding somewhere and then just came out when Maho addressed her. Issue with that is exactly the line I was mentioning before. Grey Sister said she can sense VIS crystal. For cases like when Grey Sister got caught off guard by a disguised R4, that makes sense because R4 didn't have the IS crystal. But now she did. Wait. Actually, I'm assuming that R4 could have hid it somewhere. Well, either way, we'll assume that that's the case for now. If that's the case, why didn't they try to get it back? Like, defeating R4 is one thing, but, remove the crystal and that solves the problem, doesn't it? That's one thing. If somebody could possibly answer that, that'd be great. Let's move on, though. If R4 was hiding somewhere, let's go down the possibilities. 1, literally just hidden away in a crevice. Grey Sister should have been able to sense her. And I find it highly unlikely that Grey Sister would go through with this meeting knowing R4 is nearby. The other is that R4 can somehow turn invisible and somehow cloak the signal of the IS crystal, and then when she was visible again, both her and the crystal were visible. I mean, I think the fact that R4 didn't even know about the limiter shows that R4 has limited knowledge of the crystal. So again, I find that highly unlikely. Furthermore, that would imply that R4 has some ability to stay invisible, and if that's the case, why didn't R4 use that ability throughout the entire game? It would have made things a lot easier. So then what's the next option? Is that R4 teleported in after Maho called her? Again, though, has the same issue as the first. I don't remember that ability really being used. And the third was that somehow R4 could communicate with Maho, having designated her as a backup body. And that's when Grey Sister sensed the IS crystal being inside the other Maho because she was communicating with R4. But that has the issue of R4 saying she needs to leave. And then when you think about it, how did the other Maho even get away? There should have been no case where that should have happened. They were in an open field, unless R4 was actually there. So in conclusion, I'm not sure if some future information clarifies this, but none of the explanations that I can come up with make sense as to what exactly happened. And again, I think part of that is due to how it was written, because the characters seem to instantly know what was going on. Though, why even ask if it's the real R4? Because who on earth would even turn into R4? Yeah, it's a weird scene. So, wanted to put my thoughts out there. Honestly, I'm willing to chalk it up as this just another mistake the writers made, trying to account for everything they actually write themselves in a hole. I don't know. That's why I'm opening the floor. If anybody else has some explanations, I'm all ears. But either way, let's continue with the episode. With Gehaburn, my vessel will be lost and I will transfer over to your body to remove... Yeah. So does R4 need to designate someone essentially as the backup before it happens? Wait, it's at 2007? What are you supposed to do? You're the goddess candidate. You must learn from your sister, the goddess, and mature to become one yourself someday. You must be ready any... How are they able to do this? This literally breaks the perfect system that I was talking about. It seems like this dude's really in charge. You don't know if you can do that, but if that means you get to be with your sister, then you'll gladly do that. Why does Sis never show herself? The goddess of the other nations always seem to be in the public eye. Okay, so people have future... You know what? See, that's the problem with doing these games. Is that I'm blind, right? And when I point out stuff, I'm talking to, especially the later I play a game, which is why, again, Cyberdimension was really fun. I got to play at the same time as everybody, but I thought that people were actually, being clever with that, maybe she doesn't show herself explanation, but no, it was just people quoting what happens in the future of the game. That makes sense. I kind of had a feeling once I started seeing some signs of it, but... That doesn't... Again, I need to know how this even happened. If this was Plutia and the CPU memory core, I could understand, but how were they born? That is why, Maho, I advise you to refrain from going outside. You are to learn how to become a goddess within these walls. I see. Uh-huh. 2011. Why does this go to sleep? Okay, can you do anything to help? Maybe you can take her place for a while. We can tell our nation about what's going on. See, again, I hear what you all are saying, especially now that I know that it was the developers themselves that you were quoting. Now I get it. Because you were saying, well, the developers gave a reason, and that is that. If I am Neptune, Noir, Blonde, or Vert, and I hear that people don't even know what the goddess looks like, first off, I'm not trusting anybody like Blonde did with that information that they needed. Second, I'm investigating. Did none of them remember Pishi? For all they know, it could be a Pishi type situation, and there is a really powerful threat building in this. You know what? I blame Maho for this. But upon seeing that literally no one in the PC continent knew what the goddess was, you don't hide somebody like that. People are trying to use real world scenarios to compare it to, but you can't because they're goddesses. It's not like the Wizard of Oz either. This is an actual powerful threat that has not been identified. The only reason the four nations are in harmony right now is because they're all friends. But the PC continent can be another competitor, and without at least identifying who they are, you cause this game to happen. I'll move on, but that is now that I know that it's an actual reason, that is my response to that. But yeah, if you suddenly make yourself known and announce our risky position to the nation, people will panic. You must settle things in secret. We must find a way to replenish her shares without her using... Oh, and by the way, for all I know, this guy could be ASIC too. The faceless leader of exactly who I was talking about before.
Let's heal up quickly and keep going.
No, this isn't Virtual Forest.
Any others? I sure hope so.
This is that map in Rebirth 1. Fair enough. This is actually a stage where, or a part where reusing a map, that works. First, real quick, to just talk about what's happening. Obviously, Maho has been, is it indoctrinated the right word? I wouldn't say it's brainwashing either. It's more, nah, I still gotta know. See, again, the facts, I have to put some of the blame on Neptunia, Blonde, and Bert now. Well, okay, so that's what I was trying to talk about. I can't blame Maho for making the drastic decisions. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the full story yet, but I was assuming Maho at least had the basicness, or, you know, would interact with people normally. She doesn't. So if that's the case, then I also can't fault her for not questioning why, if your nation is losing shares, that means that something is wrong. She wouldn't know that. But is Maho a replacement for her? Because if I remember in Rebirth 1, we still didn't have an exact explanation for the candidates. They were just born and in that area. But it seemed like they knew, or at least Eastwar, it seemed like they were greeted at their birth, right? So like there's a designated location for them to be born. If that's the case, then maybe a candidate was made without Maho ever meeting her sister. Would she know if she looks different than her or not? Which, that was another thing. Based on the care that Maho had, I assumed that she really, you know, she at least saw her sister. I need more information before coming up with a final judgment on Maho. But once again, I just hate, especially Blonde now. It's like, Blonde, you knew that this was, you never even seen the CPU, the people had never even seen the CPU? That's a lot of assumptions. She had to have known the PC continent existed. They gave us 2007 for that date. I believe that Rebirth 3 took place in 2012, right? So that means Blonde at least had 5 years to do the bare minimum of knowing, bare minimum of finding out about the PC continent.
It's not safe to leave me here like this.
And knowing that that was true. All right. Let's continue for now. Is this our Maho? Our Force mech soldiers. That makes sense? Well, I mean, yeah, if they're here and the sword is here, it makes sense.
Believe in yourself and do your best.
And now I'm questioning more on why these look like CPUs. They're a bit stronger. Sheesh. Okay, yeah, you are pretty strong. But yeah, it isn't new. Well, I mean, I said you're pretty strong. But... oh, sheesh. I might need to use a tactical skill. You might stop it. Nope, you didn't. Oh, and wait. Oh, I'm out of AP. We can transform soon. Okay, hang on. I'm not doing too well. Tactical shot? Or a tactical skill? Oh, I haven't used this.
I'm gonna rain bullets down on you.
Yeah, there we go.
Here I
Just have to use some abilities.
Yes! They were tough, but we were tougher!
Okay, that literally was just buying time then.
Mind if I go first? If you're ever lost, just check the map.
Okay, we'll go this way then. Though again, this seems like a pretty obvious place, but then again, I'm assuming people know or have seen this. It's probably somewhere in the sky, maybe. I will say that's a pretty cool skin.
Please don't scare me. We can do this.
But it'll go down like the rest. Sheesh.
Level up! Level up!
Okay, that's a lot of levels. Am I ready? Well, either way, we're gonna keep going. Is that scanning for us? And the door locked. Fine.
Was I too fast?
I gotta take you
Slow
out.
down, okay?
Okay. Did it? Oh,
What?
no, it's
Are
still
you
locked.
tired?
Dadgummit.
Don't give me that look.
I could have went around.
If you're ever lost, just check the map.
All right. Well, need to find a way to open it.
If you're going to be slow, I'll just go
Huh.
first.
No, we are not climbing that. We're jumping down. I don't want another issue. Is this it?
Yay, we did it!
That looks like the switch for a different door, which might be where I want to go, to be fair.
Okay.
And it looks like that area over there is most certainly
I hope there's something good inside.
the next area. Oh, but it's...
Got to be well equipped.
Yeah, that's way stronger. Take that. Yeah, here.
I'm excited to see what's inside.
Better weapon for Noir. Yeah,
I know just
significantly.
what to do with you.
Dream Crusher? Huh.
Let's finish this.
Alright.
I didn't even cry this time.
Alright. Let's see what's up with this. I mean, look at it. It might be influencing the place. That's the question. Okay, they may be giving us some answers. Aha. Right. It was found? Yes, please. The ancients? I mean, Eastar was born with the founding of Planetoon itself. At least, I think so. Not sure about the hyperdimension version. But, so I guess that would mean that she wouldn't know beyond that point. Really? Wait, so SG knew about it? How? A prophecy? Are they gonna go into detail about any of this? You might say it's because this is a lot of just, I'm gonna say it, that don't sound Neptunia-esque. I've never heard of anyone of them predicting the future. And I at least want to know, like, where this goddess come from? Like, just... That's quite a thing to say and not have a name on them. A great many relics. Okay. I assumed it was because of the, it was corrupting the environment, but all right. That's a good question, I suppose. You have no idea how she found out about it. Well, Maho said it was getting it from R4's memories, and somehow R4 knew that she could do this. You break your NDA? That time I can understand, yet it was obvious Neptune was joking. Which is where the joke comes from, but I understand. Okay. Oh, I mean, why not? Is there some other safeguard? Well, yeah. It can take you all out if she chose to do that. I mean, I imagine she was just trying to prevent. I'm assuming R4 is walking with the other Maho at the same time. You see, ironically, you might say, well, see, the game did give us answers. Because I saw somebody mentioning that it was a good thing that everything wasn't explained. No. Like I said, I'm currently playing a game. They don't have much. But getting those little details of information are so exciting. One of the strongest things this series has to go for is its lore concerning the games. All it really did is explain that Eastward was moving it around. And somehow the first goddess of Planetune knew about the sword, but another random goddess had some sort of prophecy and okay. Remember I mentioned this kind of seems like fan fiction? You gotta at least stay within the bounds of the series, even though the series goes crazy. Like, I'm trying to think why Uzume's abilities seemed, and Rei's abilities seem kind of, well, it's because when it comes to Rei, it seemed like both her and Kurome were being souped up on a lot of negative share energy. Therefore can, well, in the words of Star Wars, you know, Emperor Palpatine, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities one might deem
Stop staring at me.
a natural. And in this case, that works. Just like the next forms. Again, a lot of share energies and share fusion. That the core of their abilities came in shares. So if maybe there was one goddess over the entire planet, you know, the Atari, for example, then some people might say, well, see, that's the beauty of it. You can No, tell me, darn it. Well, anyways, trying to find where to go. I think I do need to backtrack. All right, give me a sec. Yeah, I think I had to get caught by this thing. Okay, but let's make sure.
I'm gonna take a little break.
It doesn't happen. Yes, we can hear you. I should probably wait. I don't want to cut it off. It's just ahead. Okay. So we should get prepared. I think so.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's save with the whole team.
Would you like to save?
Still should give me
If you're ever lost,
an
just check
event,
them out.
right?
Jump.
Just up ahead.
Where are we?
Okay, it is not just up ahead. All right. Well, then I'm gonna take a break and I'll meet you all back. Okay, I found a save point. Real quick, I just want to say, sorry everyone. I know I've been talking a lot and mentioning a lot of stuff. It normally hasn't been a big of an issue in this series in particular. I have my methods to deal with talking a lot, and I haven't been using them fully. In addition, a lot of time has passed, which gives me even more time to think on things. Let's just say that even concerning my upload speed with this game, things just haven't gone according to plan. But hopefully, from this point on, we're back to business as usual. Let's see this event. And I was hoping we would have voices. So we arrived. Oh, that was Maho that said, okay. The other you. I see. Well, That's not too late. You might be invincible, or yeah, invincible. But we can still take a sword from you. You know you've seen it somewhere else before? Yes. Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, that's the whole point. You can use it on yourself. Oh, okay. Wait, you're gonna hang on. And that's why they didn't give me that loadout. I remember saying it, that I wanted a Gehabern looking sword. They didn't give it to me because...
Believe in yourself and do your best.
Is it on the model?
Goddesses and goddess candidates,
Come on.
prepare to die.
Come on. You literally said... Alright.
Eat this.
I was hoping we would actually see the sword. This is a very fitting environment though. And clearly is meant for a larger enemy as well, looking at the size of it. So I'm not gonna use our transformations yet. We're just gonna fight normal until I see something very alarming. If you had the sword, then I... Well, actually, I wonder if it's something like, well, yeah. We've beaten you in the fight. That's not the problem. It is? Why? What happened? What other fact do we need to know? Really? Well, I thought we had the limiters. Are the limiters not working? That's a question. I might have to stop the fight if this dialogue isn't finished. Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm having to stop the fight. Uh-huh. You told Uni you regret things. Yeah, that was you. So that was you. Dadgummit. Silence? You have no idea what you're talking about? Okay, so either it was you... Okay. Alright, now we can finish. I hate... You know, that's important story information. They should at least... Whoa. What would have happened? I don't want to miss out on that stuff, but I don't want to lose the fight.
My revenge. Is this the end?
Wait, I did? Huh.
This body is reaching its limit. It's time to dump it.
She's gonna use a sword.
She's going to switch bodies. Don't let her.
Yeah.
We'll hold her down.
Well, that's an idea.
Do you really think you can?
I mean, I did before they said your power's increasing. Why?
The mech soldiers are forming a wall.
Where were they? Nah, we were fighting. How?
Get out of my way.
Dadgummit all.
Oh, their numbers are increasing. Will we be able to get through them? Much like this body, they are expendable. Worthless pieces of trash. However, they should be able to slow you down a bit.
Would the other Maho not just... You know, this would be a perfect time for you to take the sword away. I mean, what would be the worst case scenario for you? Is R4 winning, right?
Just you wait until I obtain the body of a goddess.
You already have one. Do you not?
Shall we proceed with the fusion? Don't worry, you will not perish. Our souls will simply share a vessel.
I don't care. Just hurry it up.
But you did say... That's what I was trying to get at before. I'm not sure what I kept in now or not, but I was trying to say it didn't make sense. You said this was a means to achieve your goal. What's your goal? Now that I've heard your backstory, it might actually be a little bit of revenge. I'm not sure.
The other me.
Is this what you really want? Hey, if you keep this up, you really will become a backup.
Yeah, it's in the very same vein.
Try to remember. Remember what you really wanted.
I already do. But there's nothing I can do about it now.
I mean, if future me is saying there's something I can do about it, I would listen to myself. I'm just saying.
Farewell, my old temporary body.
The moment when R4 taking herself out is something that Nepgear, of all people, says no for. Oops. Alright, well, it's happened.
No matter how many times I experience it, it is wonderful each and every time. I have been reborn once again.
You know, RE0's out right now. I actually haven't been caught up. I'm waiting on a buddy of mine to finish, but I'm just thinking, Subaru it hurts him every time he goes to it, but R4, it sounds luxurious.
The other me, she was taken over by R4.
You know, in a sense, this doesn't really change things. In fact, isn't this a good thing? Well, hang on, let me think this through. Look, this is just me, okay? And maybe this is something I should have said a long time ago, but I am perfectly fine with taking the other Maho out. I understand backstories and everything, but I also understand the world has ended. My tolerance for stuff has been a lot weakened.
Damn it! We got so close.
And you dropped the sword. Hang on. She dropped the sword. Get the sword. Get the sword right now. That's our opportunity.
Oh my goodness.
Don't get shocked. Take advantage.
This is splendid. Your pain is like a sweet elixir to me.
I mean, I understand they tried. This is why I also was mentioning the relationship between Maho and Nepgear. They didn't really sell me on it. So for me, I'm like, this doesn't really change things for me. I'm getting the sword.
Now let us begin. IS Crystal. It is time to unleash your true power.
Oh, but Maho probably had the IS crystal. That makes sense. Okay. Right. I forgot. Still, they could have gotten the sword.
You shall sit there helplessly as I gain this new power.
Immortality does not mean you can't do anything. There we go.
What? The IS Crystal.
I'm like, yeah, you have robots. We got past them. We need to do something.
I'm taking this back.
Damn you, Ashen Goddess.
Well, we could have done that with the sword. I'm just saying.
I was just waiting for you to let your guard down after you thought you'd won.
And also, if I'm in that position, I would have my guard up. That's the moment of truth. I'm surrounded by enemies. I'm not letting my guard down.
Now that I have the IS crystal, you cannot gain its power.
So it truly was. The only thing then that I'm not sure if the game will answer, but if keeping the IS crystal from R4 was a very big thing to do, and it seems like the reason would be that for the limiter's sake, specifically, which means not taking control of you, then I would have at least hidden the crystal unless you have confirmed in one of the timelines that R4 can sense where it is, which I can believe. But until the story tells me, I can't assume that.
Good going, me.
Right, sister.
So what? I'll be able to take it back again.
The way you did it, it just shouldn't have happened.
No, you will never possess this again. It will be destroyed in the rightful way. This should have never been made.
You can destroy it? Great sister, you're gonna have to explain a lot of things to me on how your actions made sense if that's the case.
Yes, just it. I can take it back as often as I'd like. Do you think you're the only one who has gone back in time?
I thought so! Well, Maho said it was getting it from R4's memories, and somehow R4 knew that she could do this. I thought so!
What? What do you mean?
And now it is time for the question of the day, and hopefully those of you who saw the last version of this episode thought that this one was better. I actually cut out, I think, 10 whole minutes of discussion from this episode, though part of it I really did want to keep, but I resolved to make it its own separate video. And even then, what I had in this episode still a good chunk, though part of me feels that it's unavoidable because look at what just happened in this episode right now. There's another R4 that time traveled, which, by the way, I actually saw signs of that early on. As soon as Grey Sister told me the amount of times she time traveled, I started thinking it's a miracle that she did that many times and there aren't more paradoxes running around. Then cut to when R4 was already aware that she could transfer bodies, though upon hearing Grey Sister say that R4 every time normally goes for her sister's body first thing, it seems like R4 may already be aware of that ability. Nevertheless, during that scene, I took it as R4 already knew everything that she could do, so she had some prior knowledge, or at least innate knowledge. I mean, it could have been when she was revived, she was just knew what she could do instantly. But I also wondered if she had more advanced knowledge. And then lead to the previous conversation where R4 was talking about memories that she was using. And honestly, the only thing that stopped me, because I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of instances where I think of the right answer, but I'm reluctant to say it. And in this case, I was reluctant to say it because I just thought it'd be too crazy. I thought there's already so much in this game they're not gonna do, and they did. So for things like that, keeping in my discussions, I feel it has to happen on some level, though I will curate. And another big part of why those discussions were long, aside from the one that I actually edited in, is because I'm not using the question of the day segments. See, me not doing the question of the days actually speeds up my uploading pace, but I realized in Mega Dimension that this was a good time to discuss when there are people who really just want to watch the episode, see what I thought about the story, and move on. So now I'm going to make sure that I take my time, even if the episodes come out a little bit later, and add the question of the day segments to add more thoughts. But I'm honestly still curious about what you all have to say about the previous scene where R4 just appeared, and then Grey Sister said she can now sense the IS crystal. Like, what was your explanation of what happened during that scene? Because I would love if somebody came up with a better explanation than the ones that I gave. Also, just one final note. Hopefully this episode is the last episode where I have a lot of lengthy discussions. I've resolved myself to, if there's anything that I feel like, for example, I originally had in this episode 5 ways that I could think of that the devs could get rid of Uzume without writing her out of the story. I resolved that might be good as its own video, and there are several other things that I can think of. I'm making notes. I got a Microsoft Word document and trying any ideas that I have that I want to tell you all. Just try and wait till after the game is over, see if the game answers it, and then make my own discussion video on it. So I try to keep that mindset. In the future, I think things go much faster. But if I do have a discussion in there, at least with how I'm doing things again with a question of the day, I think it might be worth it. So, oh, and on the note that it takes me a second to add question of the days, I also really appreciate everyone who answers them. I like seeing your responses, even if I can't always respond to everyone. So with that being said, I am really looking forward to see what people say about this question of the day. Please post your thoughts down in the comments below, and I will see you all next time.